"Hello, dear," said the Duchess. "Hello," replied Alice. "Beyond this door is the answer you seek. You need only make up your mind and step through it," said the Queen. "What do you mean?" said Alice. "Concentrate on what you really want. If you want to go home, if you want to stay here as you are, or become a child all over again, with no memory of your past life in the mundane world you've come from. It's all up to you. I'm here for you, Alice, if you need me," said the Duchess. "In any way." She smiled lovingly. "Thank you," said Alice. "Thank you both." She took a long look at them both, took a deep breath, and stepped through the door. Alice opened her sleepy eyes and sat up, stretching her arms and legs. She'd been asleep for a while, judging by the setting sun. She was seated beneath a large tree, her book bag beside her. It wasn't until she stood up that she realized she needed to pee. Without thinking about it, Alice let loose. Before she fully realized the consequences of her actions, a dark stain was creeping down Alice's inner thighs. When it was all over, Alice's pants were soaked from the crotch to the knees. Alice looked at her pants in disbelief. What was going on? Looking around, Alice was relieved that no one else had witnessed what had happened. She shook her head, trying to clear the cobwebs. Her dream came back to her in vivid detail. Alice would have laughed about it were it not for her soiled condition. She quietly picked up her book bag and held it in front of the wet spot on her pants. She headed off towards home, praying that nobody would notice her accident. To her relief, the house was empty when Alice arrived. She quickly headed for her room. Throwing her backpack on the bed, Alice peeled off her wet jeans and underwear and headed for her underwear drawer. Opening it up, she was shocked to find her cotton panties replaced by diapers. Alice wondered out loud. Thinking it was some sort of cruel prank, Alice looked around the room for a camera or microphone. It was then she noticed the note on her mirror. "Dear Alice, hope you are happy with your choice. I've left you a few supplies just in case. I am glad for our time together, and you are welcome to visit me anytime you want. With love, the Duchess." Alice couldn't believe it. Was everything she dreamed about real? She walked back to her drawer and found the disposable diapers still laying where her underwear had been just hours earlier. Alice reached out for the diaper, extending a trembling hand to inspect the items. She picked up a diaper and turned it over. The soft plastic crinkled in her hands, and she could smell the unmistakable scent the diaper carried with it. She inhaled deeply, remembering her trip through Wonderland. She inhaled deeply, and immediately decided what she would do. "Well, no need to have these go to waste," Alice said. She unfolded the diaper and brought it up around her waist. Carefully, she taped it in place. When she was done, Alice inspected herself in the mirror. "Beautiful," she said. She grabbed an old pair of track pants and pulled them on. She checked herself again. The diaper was nearly invisible under the noisy pants. "Perfect." Alice smiled. She picked up her wet jeans and underwear and headed to the washroom. She was in the process of putting them in the washer when her mother surprised her. "Hello, Alice," she said. Alice jumped. "Mom, I didn't hear you come in." Her mother didn't respond. Instead, she inspected the jeans Alice had in her hand. "What is this? Did you pee your pants?" Alice pulled away. "No. They're just, stained. That's why I was going to wash them." It was no use. Her mother had seen the evidence. "I can't believe this. My teenage daughter, wetting her pants. Maybe I should pick you up some diapers next time I'm out." The words stung Alice, and she was glad her pants hid the diaper she was already wearing. "I don't need diapers," Alice said. "Save it. Go shower up, and then come see me. We need to talk." Your teacher called me today. Do you know how embarrassing it is to be pulled out of a meeting to be told your daughter is failing? With that, Alice's mother disappeared. Alice finished her task and walked slowly back to her room. She sat on the bed, near tears. She pushed the book bag to the floor, then stretched out on the bed. It was soft and Alice was tired, and before long, she was drifting off to sleep. She thought about the places she'd been, and all that had happened recently. Soon, Alice was asleep. Alice woke to the sound of a familiar voice. Alice, honey. Wake up. Time for breakfast. Alice sat up and looked around. She was in a room she didn't recognize. Suddenly, Alice felt a familiar feeling around her middle. She sat up, gripping the side of her crib for support. Crib? Alice said, startled. She looked down at herself and realized she was clad in baby clothes and disposable diapers. She looked up and saw a familiar face. Duchess, she said. What she heard was her voice, only much higher pitched. The noises coming out of her were complete gibberish. Alice was beginning to get worried. Hello, baby Alice. How are you? The Duchess bent down and picked little Alice up. She carried her to the high chair and proceeded to feed Alice a jar of strained carrots. Alice finished her meal with a bottle full of juice. Shortly thereafter, the contents of her meal made their way to Alice's diapers. Alice cried, uncomfortable in dirty diapers. There. Let's get you changed, the Duchess said. She changed Alice into some fresh diapers and then rocked her gently in her arms. Alice was soon asleep, content and warm in her clean diapers and flannel sleeper. She remained the Duchess's baby for many years to come. Alice was content with a life of diapers, baby bottles, and no responsibilities.